Claude Reigns. Famous for his role as the Invisible Man, Reigns had a knack for playing complex villains and authority figures, yet rarely received leading man roles. His subtlety and screen presence made him one of the most reliable character actors of his time. 2. Ida Lupino. Though known as an actress, Lupino was also one of the few female directors in the 1950s. Often playing strong, defiant women, her performances stood out in films noir and dramas, yet she never fully broke into the Hollywood A-list. 3. Teresa Wright. An Oscar winner for Mrs. Miniver Wright brought an innocent yet determined quality to her roles. Despite her early acclaim, she often played supporting parts that required a delicate balance of vulnerability and strength. 4. Van Heflin. An actor of understated depth, Heflin shined in roles that often depicted morally conflicted men. He excelled in both westerns and film noir, giving nuanced performances that never felt overblown. 5. Ethel Barrymore. As part of the legendary Barrymore family, Ethel was a powerhouse of quiet, commanding performances. Despite winning an Oscar, her stage reputation overshadowed her cinematic contributions, keeping her underrated in Hollywood. 6. Dana Andrews. Often cast as the brooding, morally ambiguous hero, Andrews was a favorite in film noir but lacked the recognition his talent deserved. His restrained acting style was ahead of its time, influencing future generations of film actors. 7. Dvorak. Dvorak's intense, emotional portrayals set her apart from her contemporaries, but she often found herself in films that failed to showcase her full range. Her roles in pre-code films like Scarface showed her ability to handle gritty material. 8. Herbert Marshall. Marshall brought elegance and wit to the screen, often playing men with hidden depths. He worked steadily but was rarely given the recognition due to his commanding yet subtle performances. 9. Eddie Bracken. Known for his comedic chops, Bracken played bumbling, earnest characters that audiences loved. However, his work in screwball comedies never fully translated into long-lasting stardom, keeping him just below Hollywood's elite. 10. Agnes Moorehead. Moorehead was a scene stealer in films like Citizen Kane and The Magnificent Ambersons. With a career that spanned decades, she was often overshadowed by leading actors despite her brilliant versatility. 11. Ruth Hussey. Best known for her role in the Philadelphia story, Hussey often played the sharp, witty woman who knew more than she let on. Despite her talents, she was mostly relegated to supporting roles throughout her career. 12. Thomas Mitchell. A staple of Hollywood character acting, Mitchell won an Oscar for Stagecoach but was rarely in the spotlight. He appeared in several classic films, including Gone with the Wind and It's a Wonderful Life, always elevating every scene. 13. Ella Raines. Raines brought grace and intelligence to her film noir roles, standing out in a male-dominated genre. Her performances were filled with a quiet intensity, but she didn't have the sustained career of many of her contemporaries. 14. Franchot Tone. Tone was often overshadowed by his more famous peers, but his elegance and charm made him a memorable leading man. His work in Mutiny on the Bounty and other classics showcased his talent, but he never reached top-tier status. 15. Mary Astor. An Oscar winner for The Great Lie, Astor often found herself typecast, but her ability to bring complexity to seemingly simple characters made her stand out. Her role in The Maltese Falcon cemented her as a film noir icon. 16. Pat O'Brien. Known for playing tough, no-nonsense characters, O'Brien had a prolific career that spanned decades. He was often cast in supporting roles, but his ability to ground his characters in reality made him invaluable to many films. 17. Barbara Stanwyck. Stanwyck was a versatile actress who could excel in melodramas, comedies, and westerns. Despite being critically acclaimed, she often played in B-movies and was underappreciated during her Hollywood prime. 18. Walter Huston. A character actor who could dominate any scene, Huston was more known for his stage work. His collaboration with his son John Huston in The Treasure of the Sierra Madre brought him late recognition, but his body of work remains underrated. 19. Nancy Carroll. Carroll was a major star of the 1930s but slowly faded from the public eye. Her lively, charismatic presence in early musicals and comedies made her a fan favorite, but she rarely received the prestigious roles she deserved. 20. Elisha Cook Jr. Cook was the quintessential film noir fall guy, playing small, doomed characters with such conviction that he left a lasting impression. His work in The Maltese Falcon and The Big Sleep proved he was a master of underplaying tension. 21. Jane Greer. Greer's cool, enigmatic persona made her a natural in film noir, particularly in Out of the Past. While her career was overshadowed by other leading ladies, her performances remain a model for femme fatale in cinema. 22. Victor McLaglen. McLaglen won an Oscar for The Informer, but his work as a character actor, particularly in John Ford's films, often went underappreciated. He brought a rugged charm to roles that required both humor and grit. 23. Joan Bennett. Bennett was a chameleon on screen, moving from wholesome ingenues to sultry femmes fatale later in her career. Her work with director Fritz Lang in film noir classics made her one of the most interesting but underrated stars of her era. 24. Charles Coburn. Coburn's delightful character work, especially as a mischievous older man, won him an Oscar for The More the Merrier, but he rarely received recognition for the full breadth of his performances. 25. Lizabeth Scott. Often called the female Bogart, Scott's husky voice and cool demeanor made her a film noir staple. Her work in movies like Dead Reckoning and Too Late for Tears remains underrated despite her significant impact on the genre. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed learning about these underrated stars, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more fascinating Hollywood stories.